Okay, got a little copper part pipe repair for today. Got a leak down here. Not there, that's a nick, but it's just where this weld is, or this solder joint is, which is really crappy. It's right under the surface, so there's a lot of corrosion there. But so anyway, what I did was first use this to clean everything off, get everything nice and shiny, because you gotta have that. Also finished off with some emery cloth, which is this stuff here. It's basically sandpaper on a roll. You can get everything nice and shiny, which you need to have for this. Get it cleaned off. So what I'm gonna do here is I bought a couple of different options because I wasn't sure what they make. This brass compression fitting here that you can, no soldering needed. You just slip these on the ends. There's a rubber gasket in there, and you slip them down over the end here, and then put this down over your pipe, slide it up that way, and then you tighten these. I'm just kind of apprehensive about using this, just because it's underground and everything, rubber. Just not sure I want to. So anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to solder it. So I got some slip couplings here. Difference between these and just these are slip coupling, and then they have what they call a stop coupling, which has a little ridge or a nipple inside there, which will only allow it to go down like halfway. So I want these slip couplings so that I can go down past and then bring it back up, because I don't have a lot of flex here to move my pipes around to be able to get these in and then put them back in place once I get the piece cut off and put in there. You'll see what I mean when I get there. So I'm going to cut this down here where this nick is, and I think right up here where this nick is, and then try to solder it from there. One thing of concern is water in the pipe. You cannot have any water in the pipe or your solder will not flow. And that's why that's why I kind of want to use the non-solder one, because I've tried this before with water in the pipe and it turned into a disaster. I'm not a plumber, and not sure I want to do that. But anyway, I'm gonna do it anyway, because it shouldn't be that hard. But anyway, so let's cut into this and we'll get started. So there's a cutter right here. Basically what you do is put this on the pipe, and then every time you spin it around, you just keep tightening the blade on your work. So I'm gonna go right to this spot, get it tightened on there, and we'll start spinning it around. Oh, barely gonna fit that wall. Okay, should get a little better as we go, because it's gonna go in further. Okay, that one's through. Let me get up here now and do the same thing. A little more room. All right, so the piece is out that was leaking. Let's see, if I were to use this, I guess that made my decision for me. I didn't leave enough space, so I'm stuck now. That's all right. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, let's, now the water. Ow. Careful, sharp edges. Let me clean those out. Good idea to wear gloves. Cut copper gets very sharp. Okay, this has a tool on it right here, if I can get it out with my gloves, a knife edge, and that's for deburring the inside of these, which you should do. Just run it around the edge and you get the little burrs off of there. You don't want that in there. It can affect the way the water flows and just cause issues. So let's get that out. Okay, that should do it. Take a piece of this too. Take some cloth too and get it in there. Okay. Now I'm gonna take a shop vac and try to suck that water out of that pipe. So I gotta get that out of there. Should be okay up here because I got a valve right above here, above where the camera is. It's right here. So I've got that valve shut off, so this won't have water coming down. You got to make sure you have a valve there because that's the part that goes in the house, and that would take a long time to drain. So you have to let it all drain if you don't have a valve, but you always will. Okay, let me suck that out. Okay, problem I'm having, it's sucked out the water to about here, but I think it's gonna keep coming back up a little bit. It hasn't moved back up, but I don't have a way to open the other end, so it's not real. Once it has to have a place for air to come in, otherwise you're just creating negative pressure in there. And this goes to the street where my valve is, which obviously I have to have closed right now, so I don't have another place for air to suck in. So I'm gonna try to get me some tubing and maybe wrap some tape and stuff around here with the tube, and so I can stick that tube down there further and suck more air out, see if that works. So I'll go do that. All right, I'm back. Sometimes you have to improvise. So I got lucky, found one of these little ends for that I have for like float toys, and the little electric pump fit perfectly inside this. So I have this tube, stick it over the nozzle, taped it, and I've been sucking the air out, or the water out of here, and it's working well. So I think I about got it. All right. Well, I think that's gonna be good. Hopefully it will. So now I went ahead and already cut my piece that I'm going to put in there. That's where that's going to go. So one thing we got to do with these as well is make sure we rough up the surface here. Where the fitting's going to go. And then on the couplings, you got to do the same thing. So this is what I was talking about, the slide versus the stop. So you can slide these all the way down to get your piece in, and then slide it back up. Essentially, I don't have a lot of flexibility here. So you got to get the inside of these roughed up as well. That looks good. Both sides. Nice and scruffed up in there. All right, now we want to make sure that we have flux in all the fittings and around everything we're gonna solder. Trying to find my other glove. On a different one. Okay. Oh, one other thing. So, one thing that I found online in concern to the water was to take some white bread, take the crust off, and roll it into a ball. Here, I better use two. It's kind of a big diameter. And you stick that down the pipe, and it acts as a plug to keep the water from coming back up. But then when you turn the water back on, it just dissolves because it's bread. So I'm gonna try that. Old plumber's trick, they say. Let's see. Shove it down there. Okay. I got it down as far as it'll go.
Huh?
Okay. Not as worried about up here because I know there's no water in there. Been open for a long time. Okay. Well, let's see how that works. So we'll take this. Get my gloves back on. We want to put flux all around the solder joints. Now this flux paste, it's this stuff here. It's basically like an acid paste that acid etches the copper, and it allows the solder to flow by the capillary effect. You want to get plenty of solder on there. And the solder is kind of an indicator on when it's hot enough for the flux is kind of an indicator when it's hot enough for the solder to melt. When it starts bubbling, and so I want to put it inside too. That one. Okay, it's up here. And last one. Come on. All right. just give them another little clean here. We're gonna solder. A lot of construction in the neighborhood going on. Now I got obviously a lead-free solder. Don't want lead. This is going to be your house water. Let's try this. Looks good. Looks like it's taken. You can see how it just kind of nicely flows like water. I'm gonna put this over here so I can protect my drip line from the flame. See if you can see that. Put a little more flux on there because it's kind of gotten hot. One thing that flux does is it allows the solder to even flow up. So these ones down here at the bottom, it sucks it up there to where the flux is. So pretty cool. I think we're good. I'm gonna put some more flux on there. I'm going to hit this bottom one more time just to make sure. Looks a light down here. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this up a little bit and then flip it on, turn on the water and see how we did. Feels pretty solid. Well, I think the bread trick worked for sucking the water out because no leaks, success. So there you go. Do it yourself, not that hard. These were like $3 for the couplers, $3 or $4. The copper pipe was expensive. I could only buy it in a 5-foot length, but it was and it was like $10 a foot. So that was my most expensive piece for just needing 6 inches of it. But now I guess I have some extra copper pipe, which I hope I don't ever have to use. And then the solder is like $10, so, or you can buy a kit. I just bought a kit with the torch and everything. It all came together for like $40. But one thing you want to make sure of, get a torch that has a regulator in the handle or on the torch itself. That allows you to turn it sideways or even upside down momentarily. If you have if you just buy one of the cheaper regular ones, you won't be able to put it really even horizontal and it'll just go out on you every time. So that's one thing. Oh, one other thing I'm gonna do, since this is mostly underground, ground level's about here, I got this tape that was recommended at the plumber supply store, just to wrap it with to help protect it by shark bite. So I'm gonna put that on there. Then I'm also, my breadcrumbs, I'm also going to put some sand in here instead of this dirt. That's one of the things, I think that's what actually caused the pinhole. When I dug in here, there was a big chunk of concrete from construction that was right up against the pipe that probably over time wore that hole in there as the pipe, whatchamacallit, as it vibrates and stuff. But anyway, probably doesn't look pretty, but hey, it's not leaking. So that's what I care about. All right, thanks for watching.